Hello, I'm Teacher Victoria with and for the Lead from Home. Here you will find resources and tools for anyone that wants to increase their visibility and access to their consumer in the online ESL teaching platform. So today's video is all about the new VIPKid Writing Class. There are some creative ways to support our students. We want them to have a positive experience in the classroom. So here are 5 tips for positive error correction. We know that sometimes students may be a little reluctant or hesitant to hear a little bit of that constructive criticism. After all, we are editing and supporting the student through a process. They should be able to pick up on some of the error corrections, especially as the writing classes progress. We do build upon skills, and by the end, they should be editing with you. It should be a mutual process. Now, we know that sometimes there will be learners that are hesitant or having trouble understanding what it is that is the expectations. This is why it is 1, important for us to speak clearly and forget about some of the incidental language. We should be very specific about what it is that we want the student to achieve. That is tip number 1. We set the example. Step number 2, or tip number 2, we set the example. This is also known as modeling, editorial writing exercise. The student is expected to write a draft, an editorial about pollution and changes. Okay, so I won't go into detail about the actual class, but here is an idea. One of the objectives is that the student understand the differences between informal writing and formal writing. What we can do is model the appropriate language. We can use it in our speaking. We can give an example. I can't wait to go to the event. Ask the student, and I usually type this out in the chat box. I'm a quick typer, but if you're comfortable with that, go ahead and type it out. It's always great to have different references, the verbal, the written, which is also the visual for the student. And ask them to identify, is this formal or informal? Now they've already had some practice, but right before they start editing with you, it might be a good idea for them to see you in a position that for asking for support. Make a game of it. Okay, so that is 2. We model the differences and then we guide them to identify. I made a game with my students and I asked them, okay, I found 1 contraction. We use contractions in informal language. Can you find the other one? Let's look at this line together. It's an invitation to participate, and it becomes a journey. All right, so that leads us to tip number 3. Number 3 is all about the sandwich approach. Now, if you've been teaching or working with anybody that you've supervised or in a position of leadership, lead from home, we do what is called the sandwich approach. What is that? That is, give a compliment or authentic praise. Identify what the challenge is. Definitely say positive thing. Oh, you did a great job using your descriptive or adjectives. Adjectives are things like sweet, if you're talking about food for the restaurant review, right? Sweet, you used delicious. How many syllables was that? Delicious. Fantastic. There's the authentic praise. If you are genuinely excited about their use of the adjectives and vocabulary, praise them and then let them know, oh, let's change the spelling. Delicious is actually spelled like this. and coach them through the process. And then the last one, end it with, well done. The sentence itself was really well written. Say, for example, the student has too many words in the sentence and it becomes confusing. Now, this is a common challenge with native speakers and non-native speakers. So we can let them know that, oh, you did a fantastic job of communicating two different ideas. Let's separate them to make them really strong and stand out. What do we need to do that? Take the comma away and let's put a period. Let's try that together. Offering this coaching and modeling invites them to a conversation to edit their own piece. It's a journey that your praise should be authentic. It should be something that you truly feel. It will be communicated in your face, in the way that your tone is, and that is one of the biggest things. There's not much to it. Just be authentic, come from a place of truth, and support the student in that way. This allows you to have the strong rapport that you will need when it's time to have that tough conversation. That's, okay, that was a great story, but I don't really understand. Can you help me understand or tell me more? Those are great phrases that will support conversation and pull some words or maybe even descriptive language from the student. Remember, we are talking about level 4s, 5s, and some higher language learners in 3s. So really just work with them where they are and go from there. Okay, be purposeful. And if you've made a consistent edit throughout whatever review, editorial, or other writing piece that they are working on, make sure that you put that in the feedback. This is your golden thread. This is going to be something that you will follow up with in your observation, and then what did you do to, what tools did you work on to help resolve that? We used comparisons, we used examples, we used role play to help understand informal and formal language. You can document that in the feedback, and then for your plan, let the parent know we will continue to see this type of writing, and in our future lessons, we will continue to work on it until it is a very strong skill. So-and-so did great. I can't wait to see them in the next lesson. And then again, praise at the end, whatever it was that they excelled in. Maybe they were very creative, or they gave an excellent description of the ambiance. Of course, they might not use the word ambiance, but ambiance, a feel for the restaurant that they were critiquing, because they really enjoyed the experience. Praise them for those things. And yes, I've had some great writing classes. I can't wait to get back into the classroom. And I hope these tips were helpful. Again, here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We give authentic praise in no particular order, by the way. Give authentic praise, use the sandwich approach, be purposeful in our editing, and set the example, model, coach, that I do, we do, you do. It really does work in this setting. I hope you have a great time in the classroom, just like me. I will see you next time, and happy teaching. Goodbye.